Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Rodney, and we're back at it with the Unplugged live stream. Of course, this is for the DIY solar community. We're here to answer your questions. And as always, we got Eric, Adam, and the special guest today, Evan. And so we're going to go ahead and start off today. Hey, make sure our sound is good. And if we got any problems with it, let us know that. But we're going to start out with Evan and let him tell a little bit about himself and his channel. And go ahead, Evan.
Okay, so I've got two YouTube channels actually. So my main channel is Country View Acres, got a homesteading channel, and we started along our journey of self-reliance. We did start getting into solar, and originally put in the EP Cube system with about 11,000 watts of solar, and as things progressed, I ended up making a second solar channel here this last year, and I got three systems running right now. So we got about just under 19,000 watts of solar, and I've done electrical work most of my life, and this messing with solar is kind of like a good way for me to get my hands back on stuff and mess with stuff. You kind of have that, what do you want to call it? There's like an urge where you just want to kind of mess around with electrical stuff, and this kind of is an out for me to be able to do it. So
Oh yeah, and everybody, I went on ahead and posted Evan's channel in the chat, so you can go ahead and go subscribe to his channel. Bottom line is, he makes great videos. He's got a couple of channels. He's a full time YouTuber, so he really knows what he's doing, and he does beautiful work when it comes to electrical. So if you want something that's the opposite of my setups, go check out Evan's. You know, I just throw my stuff together, and it just is what it is. I'm like, hey, it's working. I don't care, but I do care. I'm gonna go try to fix all the stuff at some point. Let's go ahead. Let Eric go ahead and introduce himself for anybody that doesn't know him. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, appreciate that, Rodney. And the lag here is pretty bad, so sorry if there was a good delay there. So yeah, I'm Eric with East Texas Homestead, and we've got a homestead here. We do a lot of solar and electrical stuff as well. And in fact, I just today dropped the first out of probably 3, maybe 4 videos in a series of completely rebuilding the system that's behind me. And I'm trying to make it a little more Evan approved and, not so much wires all over the place. So it actually turned out to be amazing. And I've fallen in love with these conduit boxes on top of the wall mount batteries. So I love it. I still think this is a great setup. So if anybody's looking for something, I'll do a little shameless plug there. Check it out. It's about an hour and a half of content. So I'm stretching up there in Adam's territory, and that's it. That's me. So pass it off to Adam.
And I went on ahead and posted Eric's affiliate link in the chat. So if you guys want to pick any of that stuff up, go ahead and click his link. Go ahead. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm really hoarse. Sorry about that. I should have said that at the beginning. So y'all gonna have to bear with me on this live stream. I'm trying. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks, Rodney, for hosting tonight. Yeah, my channel is really just me and my journey trying to take my home and property off grid, become a little more self-reliant. As we're seeing every day, things are getting more expensive, whether it's products we're buying, whether it's the electricity that we're bringing in, the propane that we have to use to heat our homes. So I'm working my way slowly trying to take care of some of those things on my own instead of having to fork out a monthly bill to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And I went on ahead and posted Adam's current connected affiliate link as well. So if you guys want to pick up anything that he talks about on his channel or just try to support him, hey, go ahead and click on that link and go ahead and get what you need. So we're going to go ahead and start off by asking Evan a few questions and letting him talk about his solar setup a little bit. So let me see if I can go ahead and pull this up really quickly. Of course, technical difficulties. Now I can't find it. Go ahead and talk about your system while I'm working on this, Evan.
which picture you think you want to show? I've got 3 different systems right now. So the first one I installed was the EP Cube system, and that's right when the EP Cube came out. I was lucky enough that Signature Solar actually contacted me. They saw that I was getting ready to install solar, and I was in the process of working on the installation, but I hadn't bought an inverter yet. And they reached out to me to try to, put this in and show how it goes together and how it works. And it's been running for year and a half, at least 2 years, maybe a couple years now. And this was the first one that I put in. So, and I did get, I did have it, I had to go through the whole process of getting it approved by the power company and getting them to inspect it. And we do sell back power. With our system, we are a grid tied battery backup system. And I thought that overall, this reminds me of how we would do stuff where I used to work. And I mirrored that in a way, using the wiring trough. And I think I quickly realized that like 7,600 watt inverter is not quite big enough to run what you really want to run. Right. So I did, and I installed 6,000 XP in the basement of my house, and that one right there. I put in the second panel, which is my critical loads. And so the 6,000 XP runs the small panel, the EP Cube runs the larger panel. And I ended up adding another 2 more solar arrays along with that. So I've got my workshop that I'm in right now. This is completely covered in solar panels. There's 3 arrays in that shot that he's showing right there. We continued and filled out the rest of that roof, and it is, complete covered in solar. So I've about maxed out that. I think anything else I'm gonna have to do is ground mount, but I think I actually have enough solar panels now. And since then, since I started making solar videos, I started building out the wall behind me here, and I did the 12K PV system. And I actually turned off the EP Cube. I'll be honest with you. The EP Cube is turned off right now, and this one is actually running everything. And it's just a test run right now. And it seems to be doing just fine. So other than that, I'm building a new one behind me. So I got my little test wall set up just like you guys do, right? So slowly getting my stuff set up so I can do different systems and different stuff.
So about how many kilowatt hours of battery storage, I guess, do you use on a typical night? That's what a lot of people wonder.
That's a good question. That is a good question. So the 6,000 XP, it goes right down to like 30%, like every night, from 100% to 30%, at least in the wintertime. So one wall mount battery seems to, as long as you got sun to recharge it, it lasts all night with my small loads. And then the 20 kilowatt hours on the EP Cube, it would run pretty much most of the night as well, with the other part, 2/3 of the house. So what is that? It wasn't quite all the way. I mean, it wasn't. So I still had an electric bill. So, and now that's really hard to. I got so many systems. That's a hard one to say. So, and now I've got the 12K PV involved here. Of course, the EP Cube's only on battery backup mode, so it's kind of like it's just sitting there waiting right now. And so what I think I need, I probably use 30 some kilowatt hours in the wintertime overnight, I'd say.
But
I probably need a good 60 or more, I think, to a good point.
But you have quite a few appliances that are not electric, correct?
Yes. So when I did build my house, I did I had solar in mind the whole time. So I do have a lot of propane. So I have a propane cooktop to cook on. We have a on-demand propane water heater, which I really like. It's like a little boiler, and it only pulls like maybe 1 amp of power to run. So I mean, it's really efficient for solar. So my biggest loads are, of course, the air conditioner. That's the big load in the house. On the dryer on closed days, and we also have like an electric oven, wall mount oven, but you don't use the oven very often. So most of the everyday stuff, like if there was a power outage, you could choose to just cook on the cooktop, right? And you could really minimize your power use.
Eric and Adam, if you got any questions for Evan, hey, y'all can go ahead and jump in as
Yeah,
well.
man. I First off, kudos, man. It all looks really good. Second, you're the first person I've ever talked to or ever heard say I think I have enough solar panels at this point. So great job on that. Uh,
Oh man.
Well, I think it's
and
batteries, right? It's those cloudy days, right? So I
Yep.
yeah,
I, I think so I got a wall mount battery here, and I got one over there, and if I slowly incorporate all that in, I could probably go a couple of days, without sun. But that's the tough one right there. Is those cloudy days just kill you.
Yeah, I probably have about 145 let's see, kilowatt hours, I guess, of batteries, and it's not enough. I have like 100 on my house now and about 45 over here on the building. But I have an EV. Everything I have is electric. I have 10 kids. They're homeschooled. So anybody that doesn't know, I use a lot of power. My washer and dryer is running 6 days a week from the morning to midnight. It's running all day long. So we use a ton of power. And my goal is just to be as self-reliant as possible. We had hurricanes and stuff like that, lose power. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this generator stuff unless I have to. So that was my goal, to have some power. And, I'm just still working towards being completely off grid, but that's my goal
It
at
gets
least at some point.
Yeah. How many watts of solar do you have, Rodney?
What's that?
How many watts of solar do you have compared to that batteries?
I have it's probably 23 or 24 kilowatts, maybe, or something like that. I have two different systems now. I'm gonna have to try to calculate it, what's what in my head, but I think it's about 24 between the two. So
Yep. You get about 5,000 more than I got, so you got a pretty big system.
When the sun's out, it's rolling for sure, and it's nice. But I need more for my house, because a lot of days when it's cloudy, like today, I think I brought in 60 some kilowatts, and I know some people think, oh, that's good. Well, not when you got a 100 kilowatt hour battery bank and your family's using power all day long and all night. So you need a lot more than that. So I have a 6000 XP that can use another MPPT, and so I'm gonna put up another array here soon.
Sounds like it. You using that much power?
Yeah. Adam, you got anything for Evan? Anything you want to bring up about his system before we get into Q&As, I guess?
Yeah, I guess the one thing that comes to my mind is, so I watched way back when you did your EP Cube install. Did you had to do was it like a 2-hour training for that just to be able to install that?
Yeah.
Is that what?
Yeah. So EP Cube, you can become an installer if you take this online training, and then that gets you the commissioning software. You have to, if you're going to do it yourself, you have to have the commissioning software. So you have to take this online training, which I won't say is the greatest, but you go through it, and then you get all these little certificates, and then when it's done, you get this. They give you this login, and then you have a installer login, and you can go in and change, or at least condition and change some of the primal settings in it. But the EP Cube is a very simple, like there's very little settings you can change. It's all like mostly programmed, and that's the way it is. And for DIYers, people like to mess around and play with settings and tweak things. You can't do that for the EP Cube. It is definitely a system for a person that doesn't care about, they just want the system, leave it and forget it. And that's the system for those kind of people. The DIYers that want to play with stuff, these type of systems are the way to go. So
Yeah. It sounds like my Blue Eddy EP800. You get a handful of settings, and you don't have much insight into what it's actually doing other than, do you have power, yes or no?
Yep. Simple and easy, user friendly. Yeah.
Hey, and if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and put that in the chat. You can put a question mark or put a Q in front of it, and we can be able to search in the chat. It makes it easier for us to find it. So I'm going to search right now to see if we can find anything. Not seen anything yet. All right, here's one from Bebop. Looks like. Did I add that to the broadcast? No. There we go. Did you get a fix out of licking 9-volt bat? What? Come on, I gotta start reading this stuff before I put it up there. Out of licking 9-volt batteries. Who
So who
are
is
they
that
talking
directed at?
to? Who was that? Oh my goodness. Okay, I gotta start reading these before I put them up.
That was a good one.
I'm gonna get myself banned. They're gonna put some crazy stuff up here. Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
All right, between the links, BY, let's see.
Yeah, that one right there. What do you think about the
There we
EG4
go,
price
yeah.
increase?
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right. Yeah, so I got something to say about this for sure.
Elephant room.
Yeah, elephant in the room. So, of course, the EG4 products went up because the stuff that's coming from China, the prices are going to go up. But I think they're trying to at least, not go up as high as they would have to. I mean, it just is what it is. When you put tariffs on it, it's going to come down to the customer that's purchasing the stuff. That's what it's always going to do. A business is there to make money. And I just know that from personal experience, I've looked at other ways to get solar, and it's way more expensive. Even with these price increases, nobody likes price increases. I don't, but I just think it's just the nature of the beast, and I think they're going to try to help us out as much as possible. But
yeah, one of the things about EG4 that I'm not sure has even been broadcast at this point, or at least I haven't seen it broadcast out there, but I've heard it twice. And they have actually started manufacturing here in Texas. So not all of their products. So you guys, are y'all aware of this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So they're actually manufacturing their products. At least some of them. They're starting to do that here in Texas. Just north of us here, and down, 30 minutes or so from their main headquarters. And I'm sure the amount of money that they're having to put into that, plus trying to drum up this manufacturing side here so that we can have, jobs in America, paying Texans and giving us a better product at the end of the day. Prices are going to go up. I mean, that's it, plus the tariffs and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to defend a price increase. I don't like that at all myself.
But they have some things that did not go up in price that, like you said, if they're manufactured here, the price didn't increase as far as I saw. So, I mean,
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at what's
defending them a little bit because I understand
going up.
They're running a business. Of course, I don't want the price to go up either, but I mean, hopefully this will help it come down at some point. But I don't know about that, but it'd be nice.
There's probably, there might be a delay on some price increases too, right? They may be putting price increases on some of their new shipments that just got in, and maybe some of the other stuff's still in stock, and it'll go up when they get a new shipment. It's hard to say. Now, my first job out of college, I actually worked maintenance at a facility where we made circuit boards, and every one of them electrical components, even though we made the circuit boards, every one of the electrical components is pretty much made like overseas. Yes. And so even if it's manufactured in the United States, there's going to be so many components that come from overseas. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard for anything not to have a price increase.
And so I did ask about I've seen some people posting, I think even Adam may have, that some places the prices are different right now. And it sounds like all that's it's gonna be equalizing here, at some point pretty much. So if people really want it and it's still cheaper somewhere, I guess you should go grab it.
Go find the place that still has the cheap stock.
Yeah. I'll make this plug now. But so that post that you're referencing, Rodney, was current connected. So what they're doing, and from what I've seen, they're honoring the original price for all the stock that they have currently before the price hike. So if you go over to Current Connected's website and you create an account on their site, that will drop that price for those certain products back down to the pre-hike price. If you just go to the site and look at it right now, it's going to be the higher price. But anything that they still have in stock, as long as you log into an account on their site, it doesn't cost you anything to create an account either. But you'll see those prices drop back down, at least for the few things that they still have in stock.
And Eric says, I figured they would go up, but a charge inverter that was 460 is now what, 720? I did not look at the price for that one. I know it went up.
Yeah,
But
that went
I
up
mean
a lot.
that's kind of
It's a big
extreme for
increase.
sure. So I'm not sure. I think it was a hot seller too. So maybe they're like, hey, we're gonna bring the price up even more. I don't know. I know it was sold out a lot. So supply and demand. I mean, hey, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we all hate the price increases.
Yeah, and I like my charge inverter. I'm glad I got it cheaper than that. So
Yeah, it's not like we're not affected by prices. I mean, we have to
yeah,
buy our equipment to make these videos. A lot
yeah.
of it,
Right.
not all of it. We might get a few generic things here and there, but the nice stuff like this, we're probably buying it.
Yep.
And someone, I don't know what Mike E's talking about, but he says someone in here said we're gonna witness an electric mini excavator. Is that true? Not that I know of. If somebody has
There's a
one, they
few
need to
out
tell
there.
me.
There are a few.
There's a few out there.
I mean,
I've seen
I'm
them.
talking about on this stream. I don't know. Yeah, I'm like,
Unless
but yeah,
Evan's got one that he's not telling anybody about.
I
No,
contacted
but I've
somebody
seen
in China about one, and
those.
they're very expensive for a little one.
Yeah, those electric ones are usually like only like a 1-ton machine. They're about the smallest
Yeah.
excavator you can get.
And they're like 3 times the price of the little cheap gas ones and diesel, whatever they are now that they got. I'm like, man, I don't think it's worth it. I could just go get a real one. But let's see what else we got on here. Stephen Fraser says, Evan, how long did it take to replace the EP Cube inverter?
Well, I was filming it, so I mean, it took me a little while longer. I probably could have had it replaced in less than 2 hours for sure. I can't remember how long. It even filming it was probably less than a half a day, so it wasn't bad.
So
All right,
you're
go ahead.
Evan, your EP Cube real fast. That's like a 2-part system, right? So it has its own like whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Grid
the gateway
box?
is like the grid. Is like the
Gateway.
grid boss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It was probably one of the first ones. I mean, I guess maybe Tesla or some of those other ones might have had it, but it was one of the early versions that came out with something that's basically the same as a grid boss. So all your hybrid inverters can come in on it. It's like 6 that you can put on there.
Oh wow.
And then it has 2 smart ports on it that you can use for either AC coupled, or you could use for a generator, or you can use for a car charger. I think they talked about making one a dump load. I still don't think they've made one a dump where you can use it as a dump load, but it's basically the same as a grid boss, just configured a little differently.
All right, and Bebop says, my charge inverter will be here tomorrow. Yay. So, yeah, a lot of people ordered those things and been waiting for a month or 2 or more.
A month easily.
Yeah, because they were hot sellers. That's probably why that price went up so much. So, let's see here.
They're pretty much a must.
What's that?
I said charge inverter is pretty much a must if anybody has the old normal generator. I mean, you don't want to tear your equipment up, right? Accidentally burn something up because you're running a generator with dirty power. So, I mean, charge inverter for most common people, it probably is a must for their solar charger batteries.
Well, and one thing to keep in mind is how long has it been on the market? The charge inverter GC, it was slightly higher than the original charge inverter, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, they've been out, 3 years at least, without really much, if any, of a price increase. So just because they're going up in price more than what the tariff would be, doesn't mean they haven't needed to increase the price just due to the fact that everything around us is going up in price. So, I mean, there's just the regular inflation involved as well. But it feels bad when you see the price go up that quick.
That's a pretty big jump.
Yeah. All right, we got a question. Off-grid wannabe, what do you folks do with the excess power when battery is full? Hopefully you can use it somehow. Like, yeah, excess power. Yeah, exactly. So my crowd's running the house. So, I mean, hey, I'm not going to say we always use every ounce of power, but I would say most of the time at my house we do. I got an electric car. I got ways to use it. So, I mean, I don't have any kind of like dump load stuff or something that I got an extra water heater or something I can just run it to. I don't have any of that, but I use so much power that it's not really gonna count for me, I guess, having extra.
So I mean, like people that are off grid, like you have to like adjust your loads, right? I mean, you have to try to like it's a sunny day, that's the day you do your laundry, right? You know, I mean, you try
Yep.
to go with the weather. If you don't, that power doesn't go anywhere. It clips your solar. It's done charging your batteries. So it's really upon the user to try to maximize that.
Eric, Adam.
Yeah, my setup's a lot different from, or very different from all of you guys. You know, I charge from the grid at night, you know, with free energy, and so I really don't have that many solar panels out to begin with at the moment. So, but when I have free energy, I do everything. I schedule my dishwasher to go at night. You know, we try to take showers, or you know, if we can, hold out till after or before we're paying for energy, and you know, we just do the things that make sense. And um, you know, I guess it's kind of like trying to use the energy whenever you've got the sun going in. It's like when I get sun on the panels that are on my mini split. Yeah, I hit as cool and as cold as fast as you can. Like, let's just do it. I don't care if you're cold. Put a blanket on, whatever, because it's going to be warmer in a few minutes. But the sun's shining on it right now. So
You're
that's
freezing
how
your
I feel
family
about
out, man. Come on.
it. Yeah, that's how it
Adam?
is.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I rarely, because of the solar that I have available, rarely do I ever max anything out. But if I do, it's like these other guys, you know, run the wash, run the dishes, you know, you stink, go take a shower, and that's my son, not my wife. Um,
Glad you specified.
yeah, I could see the comments just going after that one, but um,
Oh, well.
yeah, you find the loads. Anything extra, like if I have a power station that I haven't used in a while, I'll top those off. You know, the electric batteries for tools, that kind of stuff. Anything that you can take and try and dump that power and store it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I use a lot of smart plugs, and so whenever I'm, you know, I'll put all of my tool chargers, you know, have them set up so that they don't start charging until 9 p.m. You know, just little things like that. And of course, it doesn't make a
Good
big
idea.
difference on the tiny batteries, but it adds up over, you know, a couple of years.
Okay, I don't know how to say this name, but they say they dump theirs into a water heater. So I've definitely heard that quite a few times, people doing that.
Mm-hmm.
My question is it the water heater that they're currently running, or do they have a second one for like preheated water
Yeah.
that goes
I would-
into like how are they setting that up? Is that
I would have a second one. That's what I would think. So you still have a normal one.
I've heard it both ways. Some folks pop out one element out of their only water heater they have and run a line to that. And apparently it's not a deficit enough to only run on the one element when they don't have enough solar. But yeah, like you guys, I'd throw a second one in and let it be a preheat.
Well, a lot of water heaters will have two elements too. So you kind of like, are they trying to do a hack where they're using one on one, you know, one on one
Yeah.
system and one on the other? Or that'd be interesting to see somebody show that in a video, how they've set it up.
All right, I'm still looking through the questions. Remember, hey, we'd like to thank everybody. We got 51 people on the stream right now, so we'd like to thank everybody that's a part of the stream. I got links to all these guys' channels I posted at the beginning, so you can scroll through the chat, or I can just post them all again. Bam, there you go. They're all posted again. So if you haven't subscribed to any of their channels, hey, go ahead and make that happen. Hit the like button and share out this video. And if you have any questions, go ahead, put a question in the chat. Put a Q up there. I can search for it in this program and try to help you guys out, because that's what this live stream is all about. It's easy sometimes just to come on here on a live stream, ask a question, and then get an answer from somebody that may know it, you know, that's done it before. So, you know, we've all had to start somewhere and had to learn. We definitely started from nothing, and you know, now a lot of us have quite a bit of solar knowledge and power. So let me see what questions we got.
Hey, Rodney, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're talking about all the power that you use and your big family and all the energy. So instead of adding solar panels, do you have an appliance or something that you could do to really like upgrade or make more efficient? Is there another route you could go just besides on the solar front?
Yes, and I have tried like some things. I need a water heater that's the really energy efficient one. The what
Mhm.
is it? The heat pump one. And I've
Yeah.
been
Yep.
looking into that, but the location of it, I don't know if it will work because it's in a pretty small closet that has my washer and dryer in it. So I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work. So I've been kind of doing some research on that. If that'll work, yeah, I could use less power that way. And my goal from the beginning was to not change anything at my house until I just thought I didn't have a choice but to change something because I just wanted to kind of just live how I was living. But yeah, appliances would definitely be easy and you won't have to change how you live and you just changing the appliance. But so I haven't done that yet, but a heat pump water heater, that would be the one thing I would definitely think about. So, let's see.
Rodney, have you ever looked at how much power just your water heater uses on a daily basis?
I think if I'm running on the grid, I think they have a thing that'll tell you. I think like
Okay.
it's quite a bit. I mean, we use a lot of hot water, a lot.
Yeah, I mean they're
So
what, 4,000 watts when they're
yeah,
running, right?
yeah.
So
We're
if
using
you're
a lot of power there.
showers all the time and washing machine all the time,
And I've heard that the heat. I'm gonna have to talk to Average Joe, I guess, since he's got one. But how loud that thing is. So it would be in my house. It wouldn't be like in the garage or something. It's in a closet in the hall. So and that hall basically be right next to my bedroom. I'm like, I don't know if we could take it if this thing is in there making a bunch of noise. So we're have to do some research and see how that does. But I know the prices have came down a little bit too compared to like a year or two ago. So that's a good thing.
you should be used to the noise. You got 10 kids running around the house.
Hey, we gotta sleep sometimes. Come on. Hey, they don't want to let us sleep though. They'll be up in the middle of the night. Like, what is going on around there? Don't let me get started on that. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. A Retro Z Machine says Rodney Hunt has teens. He can't make enough hot water ever. Yeah, I have a few. I have a lot of younger ones, so it's gonna be a lot of younger girls. It's gonna be a little crazy when they're all teenagers together. Ah, my goodness. But I have kids age like 2 to 23, so I got a wide range, I guess. So, all right, let's not talk about my kids and family anymore. It's supposed to be about solar. Everybody's like, "You got 10 kids? Oh my goodness!" I can see the comments now. Let's see.
Yeah,
What
it's
we
like
got
your
here.
it's like your house is like 3 households instead of 1.
Yeah, but and I don't live in like some huge house or anything. I think it was I think it was 1,200 some square feet, and then I built an addition on it, which was 600 some. So it's maybe about 2,000 or whatever. So it's not like we live in a huge house. So we're definitely all
Making it
in
work.
But yeah, but your house though is if you can run your house on solar with that many people in your house,
Yeah,
those that have 2 or 3 people and they're worried that they can't run their house on solar,
yeah,
I mean, you're a perfect use case, Rodney. It can be
yeah,
done. Anybody can do it.
yeah. With a lot less batteries.
Yeah.
And there's like I think last night or this morning I still had like 60 some kilowatts of battery or something like that because of the temperature outside. So if your HVAC isn't running a lot at night, you don't need a lot of batteries. All my stuff's electric, so if it gets really cold, it will burn those batteries down. Like if it's 20 degrees outside, but that's just the nature of the beast where I live. I mean, most of the time it's not going to get that cold. So I think anybody can do it. Start small. You can get one of these inverters, get 10 solar panels, a couple of batteries, and you can pretty much run anything in your house, at least one thing at a time. If you can do that, you can make it through any kind of emergency. Plus, you can save a little bit of money if you use a critical load panel. So
That's the great thing about solar. I think a lot of people like don't realize, but I mean, they're like, I'll just get a generator. Well, a generator doesn't pay for itself, right? I mean, solar
Nope.
pays for itself every day, and it'll eventually pay itself off. A generator may sit there 10 years. You may use it 10 times and it never pays for itself.
and look at the times that we've had these gas shortages and stuff. if you don't have enough gas stored, then what do you do? I'm not saying solar is perfect because it's not. I have gas generators. I have propane. I mean, I'm trying to mix it up. But if you want to be, to me, the most self-reliant long term, solar and lithium batteries are the way to go. To me, nothing even compares even close because you can make power yourself once you get it. I can't make propane. I can't make gasoline. I guess somebody could, but I can't. But I'm just,
Ethanol.
yeah, we could. Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. I guess you could make it, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I guess I work at
It's
a
not as
refinery.
practical.
I could do it, but I'm not doing that. Solar, I can stick it up there. It makes its own power. I don't have to watch it.
There you go.
All right. Let's jump back in
There's
the
a couple
comments here.
questions.
All right, if you see one in particular, let me know. I got to scroll through here and find one.
Yeah, John Guyver has got one a few scrolls up.
Is that
Yep, there we go.
Eric? What are your thoughts on charging batteries with solar and overnight with free nights? Concerned about battery health at all? I'm doing the same thing here in West Houston region.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, from everything that I understand, the batteries like to be cycled, and they like to be cycled, low and then all the way back up, as opposed to just kind of hopping around all over the place. So, at least from talking to a few other experts, that's what I understand. And if I'm wrong, I guess we'll find out here in hopefully less than 10 years, or more than 10 years, rather. So, giving them full cycles every day, because that's pretty much how I do it. I mean, it starts off at 100%, and then it just kind of moves down, and then it might peak up just a little bit as I get some solar, and then keep on going until it's, we come sliding in around 30% most nights. And some nights we go, down 15. And so far the batteries have held up great. So I don't know. I've been, I'm new to doing it with these guys, but with the Life Power 4 batteries, I did it for a solid year, every single day, and they seem to be in great health.
I've took mine down to 5%, but not on purpose.
For a while there, I actually was taking mine to 5% on a daily basis, just kind of to see how they would do. Yeah, Will, I think Will was saying on his channel a while back that, man, you can take them down that low every time. He said, according to him, reading the white papers, it's not that big of a deal, but I've got mine back up at 15.
Yeah, I would like to keep mine at 20% or higher, but I mean, hey, if you need it sometimes I just forget about it. Like when it was really cold, it went down to 5%. I was at work and the power went out at the house because I don't have grid backup or anything. And so my wife has texted me at like 6 something, like the power's out. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I got to try to explain to them how to turn the grid power back on because I got my stuff jerry rigged. My stuff's just back fed into the house basically. So I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I told my son how to do it and he turned it back on, but it was kind of funny. That's the first time that's happened when I wasn't at home. And that was when I had 85 kilowatts of batteries and they ran, I don't know what they did that night. They must have ran the dryer all night or something. I don't know what was going on. It was cold, but the batteries were full when I left. I said, my goodness.
Interesting. I had a deal where my batteries, like I switched back to grid. I guess it was probably an hour before the power went back to free energy. And so I wasn't charging from the grid at this point. My batteries were mostly depleted down to my cutoff setting. And then the power actually, like everything just went dark in the house. And it was the first time I'd seen anything like that in years because, it was the last time the power just like went out because it's always just seamlessly goes back over. So before I could actually get out of the house and back around to the barn, it was about 30 seconds. It all came back on. And I didn't have any errors on the machines. It appears that just I could hear the substation down the road, doing that, trying to come back to life. And everything just came back on. So, but what was weird is it didn't seamlessly switch over. Like I said, that's the first time in a year at least. that I've seen the lights off in the house. So maybe it's just because if the batteries are dead, or it's not pulling from the batteries, the UPS feature isn't functioning. I don't know. Curious on y'all's thoughts on that.
Well, what I would say is if the grid didn't completely go out and you had a real big dip in the voltage, like maybe it dropped down to like 50 volts or something like that, I think that's where these have trouble, right? There's still power, they still see that frequency, but yet, and then they may not switch out of it. Like I think that
that could be it. Yeah.
when you have like the power goes out, it seems like they're consistent, but I think when you get like bad low power, sometimes they don't know how to react to that. So
interesting.
Because you were running on the grid at that point in time, right? And
I was on the grid.
Yeah,
I wasn't charging yet. No, I was just it was about an hour before we would start charging.
That could be. That'd be my guess, maybe. I'm just shooting in the dark. Who knows?
The kids were like, "Can we do that again?" They thought it was so fun because they never get to see the lights out.
All right, it seems like we got a lot of questions coming in now, so it looks like we'll have plenty to talk about the next 20 minutes or so. I'd like to thank everybody that's a part of the stream. Without you guys, we'd just be sitting here talking to each other, and who knows if we'd be doing it or not. Probably not. But we got 61 people on the stream. If you got a question, go ahead and put that in the chat, and we're going to try to get through all these in a hurry. Let's try to get through them, because a lot of times we get behind and then 9 o'clock gets here and we miss some. So it looks like we got one for Adam. Says William W says, I see the midnights behind you. Did you ever see any improvement in solar output, the lower startup voltage, and MPPTs?
Actually, I was looking at just comparing my Victron MPPTs to the startup time for the Victrons to the startup time on the midnights today, and I know the arrays are in different angles and pointing in different directions, but I can look at the details and see that they both actually start up and pull in a few watts right around the same time each day. So I can actually see power starting to trickle in at like 7:30 in the morning, or between 7 and 7:30, and then I got a few watts still coming in, eking their way in till 8 o'clock at night, both on the Victron and on the midnights. So that's really, kind of interesting to see that the voltage range is kind of similar to that Victron.
All right. James G says, Rodney, are all of your batteries EG4 or did you DIY any? I did not DIY any because when I was looking at it, I'm like, is it worth my time is very, 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 very valuable. Everybody's time is very valuable. I mean, and so to me, it's not worth it to go do a DIY battery when I can just buy one that's almost the same price and I can just put a couple battery cables on it and I'll be done. So no, I didn't do any DIY batteries. Most of them are EG4. I got a Jacopper battery when they originally came out. I think it's Orient Power now. I did not like that battery at all. Is this thing gonna go away? What's up with this? This thing's just bouncing up and down, man.
I just got stung by a hornet while that thing's bouncing all over the place.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Curled up my chair and got me in the elbow.
You're not allergic, right? We'll have to call somebody for you.
I'm aware of.
I don't think this thing's gonna go away. I don't know what happened. It was supposed to pop up and go away. But we'd like to thank John Guyver for the tip, $20 super chat. Hey, he says, as always, thank you guys for all the info and the help. Hey, we definitely appreciate you guys for showing up and for the super chats, of course. And now I got to figure out why it's still bouncing there. Hold on. Oh, now, bam. Woo-hoo. There you go. Went away. I guess maybe
you got 20 bounces.
$20 is it does it longer. I think maybe. I don't know. I'm making stuff up now. Oh my goodness. All right, let me go to the next question. That threw me all off there. Awesome putting this together. I watched all of your channels as a suburbanite. Okay. I thought it was saying something else. I'm like, how can I start small then grow it? I'll let y'all have it. I'll put it back up.
Yeah, Evan, I'd like to hear your perspective on that. Yeah, because I think we've talked about this on some previous shows, but we'll let you take the floor. How would you start small?
Well, I would find an inverter that is a stackable one, probably, right? I would probably go that way, where you could get like this, like you have. Look, what's in the background of you is 6000 XP. If you want to upgrade that later, you don't have to throw it away. You just buy another one and then add another inverter. You're doubling your solar power, you're doubling your output power, and you can build it that way, and then just add more batteries. That's a great thing about the 48-volt battery system. You can just keep stacking batteries on it and building up your capacity. So yeah, I would find an inverter that you're happy with, that you can parallel more inverters off of that. That's probably the way I would go. And I guess as far as solar is concerned, like the panels, I mean, you can always just start off with like one array, right? As long as you keep in mind, plan out your space where my next array will go here, my next solar panels will go here. Just, make sure you're leaving that space on your roof or on your yard or whatever, and just kind of, pre-plan it for the future.
And my thing I tell everybody is try to get the biggest solar panels you can get wattage wise to start with, because whatever you buy, you're going to be like, I should have bought a bigger one, and you use less hardware, because one panel that brings in 500 watts versus two that do 250, it just doesn't make sense if you spend $40 or $50 for the hardware for one panel, just depending on your setup. Some of them, it can get very expensive. So just keep that in mind. All the little stuff adds up. So,
it does.
Eric?
Yeah, like all the optimizers too, right? I mean, there's no point in getting a whole bunch of 100-watt panels, basically like what I've got out here, and then trying to put optimizers on them. I paid $20 for the panel, then what is it, 40, 50, 60 bucks for an optimizer? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. So I'd second that. Buy the biggest, baddest panels you can get.
Bam. Hey, thanks, Doug. $5. Boom, big money. And Eric is on it again.
I have to. Sorry, guys. I mean, if you don't like the air horn, stop super chatting.
I'm happy to get the air horn, I guess, too. Oh, man, that's funny. All right, let me see here. Did I already do this one? Did any of you change to using a heat pump dryer? So, did we talk about this before?
I didn't know they made them.
Definitely worth looking into, probably.
Yeah. That
my dryer is my biggest load. Like any single load in my house, it is definitely the highest wattage thing that I have is that dryer.
Is that what, 5,000 watts maybe?
Yeah, around in there.
Yeah.
I mean, my heat pump, my heat pump, it is my biggest total load, like total use. But but as far as like wattage at that minute, it's usually only running like, I don't know, probably less than 2,000 watts once it gets started.
Yeah, the rule at my house is if you're using a dryer, you can't be cooking at the same time, because if I got two air conditioners, if they're both on and somebody's cooking and somebody's using a water heater and somebody uses a dryer, we're going down, because that stuff's going to go over 16,000 watts, and everybody's going to be looking at me like, why's the power out? I told you.
Yeah, I'll throw a 5-horse well pump in there.
So my one thing was, yeah, exactly. My one thing is that dryer, if that's not on when the stove is on, I can almost never go over unless I'm charging my EV, which I charge it on the building now, so usually I'm good. So you just gotta look at your loads and try to balance out depending on your power. So that dryer, man, that thing is crazy.
I got one comment for Lily on the suburbanite starting small thing. So these guys mentioned, starting with like the 6,000 XP. If you really want to start even smaller than that, obviously you can do the 12-volt battery and, an inverter if you want to. But you could also look into one of those smaller portable power stations just to start getting a feel of things. You get something like that, and you can take one load and power it off of that power station. You can then have a set of portable solar panels to stick outside to recharge it, get into the feel of, how it all works. That is also another route that you could look at going.
Yeah. Mike Myers, who's typically in the chat, I don't see him tonight. Not sure if he's here tonight, but yeah, he ran his whole house. No, he was very well insulated house. Just did the shed the house thing. Ran it all off of 2 Blue Eddy units for a while before getting a 12,000 XP. Now you can't run everything, can't run it all at the same time, but yeah, I mean, it's absolutely not, something that should be shied away from. Yeah, you pay a little bit more per, per watt hour or whatever it is going that route, but the convenience, the form factor, it might be worth it.
All right, we got another question here. Your least favorite inverter you've tested?
I haven't put out a video on it yet.
Anybody? Nobody wants to say.
I've not had good luck with this Sun Gold power.
Nobody likes saying bad stuff online because it's gonna live forever.
I want to say good things about everything.
Yeah, I know, but everything's not good. We all know that.
When I added my third 6000 EX, the old yellow ones, the third one screwed everything up. So I liked it until I added 3, and then that really caused problems. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't had any problems with the 6000 XPs though. Yeah, with exception of the one I just mentioned earlier tonight with the power going out that one time.
I guess my least favorite would be my grow watts, but I mean, they worked. I didn't have a problem with them. I had 3 of them. It ran my whole house. It's not as good as the 6000 XP. I mean, it did work though. But so I guess that would be my least favorite. I haven't had, I guess, a lot of cheap junk ones. I guess so. They haven't sent me out a lot of those, so I don't know for sure. But most of my EG4 stuff has been good because most of it's been Lux Power, and to me that stuff is great, especially for the price. Even though the prices are going up a little bit, but
I'll just say that all my systems I think are good systems. That's my but the EP Cube is the system that didn't quite fit because of course you can't change a lot of settings, but every time you want to add more batteries, you have to add another inverter. And so my power company has a 10 kilowatt limit on inverter. So when I put in the EP Cube system, I was locked into 20 kilowatt hours of storage. I could not improve it. I could not go up with that because I would break my power company agreement because the way it was worded is that the inverter can't be stamped with more than 10,000 watts. Even though I could turn that down in the software, I would be breaking the agreement. So that was like a big downfall for me on the EP Cube is because I really needed more battery storage and I couldn't do it without adding another hybrid inverter. And then the other problem I had with it is when you did lose grid, it didn't have like a seamless switch. And that was kind of an issue for me because it would blip everything. You'd lose your Wi-Fi, everything. You never knew whether it was running or not because it didn't have a screen. That's like a big one for me. I prefer having a screen to be able to see what's going on when you're, like the network's down or something. You need that screen. And that's probably the one that's my least favorite.
Man, speaking of Wi-Fi going down and stuff, as you guys I'm sure are very similar to me in that, while I don't have a lot of unexpected power outages when I'm moving systems around and stuff, I do need to take the house down every once in a while. So one of the best things that I did was went to Walmart and just purchased one of those. Not one, I actually purchased 4 of them. The UPS systems, just to plug all of my routers and little whatever they're called, the little Siri box thing. I'm not talking to you. And sorry, buddy. Whatever that is, and just so that every time the power goes down for just a couple of seconds, I can still function with, I can still see the stats on my inverters, all that stuff. So I highly, highly recommend that.
Yeah, the blip I had on that EP Cube, it drove me nuts. In fact, I ended up putting a Delta Pro on my computer because I would always be like in the middle of editing a video and then the power would go out.
Oh, yeah.
I'd lose it all. Yeah, it was just like, so yeah, I did just grabbed one of those power stations and used it as an UPS. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm powered all of this off of little all powers unit at the moment.
Yeah, I have two of the standard UPSs on like my Wi-Fi stuff and my Orbi routers and all that stuff. And then one of them last night started beeping. I guess it's saying the battery needs to be replaced. I'm like, I'm about to take one of these power stations in there and just use that.
Yeah.
I just don't know if my kids are gonna go start messing with the buttons. That'd be my only problem. This thing is kind of under the table a little bit, so they don't really match the buttons. If I put one of those power boxes, they're probably gonna go turn it off anyway. So I don't know if it's gonna work for UPS. We're gonna have to try it out, I guess. Let's see. Okay, I definitely missed some questions, I'm sure. And we're coming up. We got about 5 minutes to go here in the stream. I don't know how many super chats we had, but I should have said it at the beginning. I'm only gonna stay till about 9 because, as y'all can hear me, I'm a little sick, under the weather, so my voice is a little hoarse. So it's probably not good for me to keep talking on and on and on. And y'all know I like to talk, so we're gonna stay till 9 o'clock. So we got a few more minutes. Let's see. Bebop says, Rodney, have you gotten the baby chicks yet? Nope. I'm gonna get them. I should get them this week. They should be at some local stores. I was going to order some online, but it costs like twice as much to ship them as it does to buy them. I'm like, that is just ridiculous. So I'm going to go to like Tractor Supply or somewhere and buy some. I'm be off for the next about 5 or 6 days. So I should be getting some. I can't make any promises, but I should if they got them.
I think we got 13 to 15 2 weeks ago.
Locally, or
Nice.
you got them shipped?
I think these ones my wife picked up from Family Farm and Home, but these ones are just meat birds. Once we get back from our vacation, beginning of May, then she's been doing all this research on all the egg layers, the specific breeds that she wants to get, for, this, that, and the other thing. This one looks pretty, and this one, does this, and this one's got hairy feet, and
Oh my goodness. So I got,
as long as they
the
lay
last time-
eggs, I don't really care.
Yeah, the last time I got some, I think I got I think it's Barred Rock, I think is the name, because they're kind of dark, and usually birds don't attack those as much, I think. So I got those, and they all lived until they were about 4 years old, and one of them finally died. I don't know what it died from. It might have been old age. I don't know. And then I gave them away so I could start over because somebody wanted them. I'm like, hey, yeah, you can have them. And so they did pretty good for me. I don't know about y'all. I don't know what kind y'all got, but let's go ahead, since we only got a couple of minutes to go, and make sure everybody go subscribe to all Evan's channel, Eric, Adam. I'm gonna go ahead and post it in the chat again, and we're gonna let them all do a little closing since we got a few minutes. Evan, if there's anything you want to talk about, hey, here's your chance.
Well, currently I'm installing the 12,000 XP here behind me. I couldn't finish that today because I need to go get some conduit fittings, but hopefully I will get this finished up tomorrow, and I'll hopefully have a video out soon. Complete installation on that, and later on I'll do some more testing on that. But I'm eventually going to take this 12,000 XP, and it's going to go in my house and replace the 6,000 XP. So, and then the battery's going to go with it, so I'll have twice as much battery storage, twice as much power, and really hoping that's going to help me out quite a bit on lasting through those cloudy days.
And that's Evan's channel. For everybody that doesn't know, Country View Solar. He has another channel as well. I'm sure he has it linked up through there. But I put the link in the chat so you guys can go check him out. Eric?
Very good. Yeah. Man, Rodney, thanks for pushing all the buttons tonight. That's especially when you're not feeling good, that can be a bit daunting. So I appreciate it. Evan, man, it's great to meet you and see you right here, face to face, as that can be. You. And Adam, good always. I would just say, man, if y'all are interested, I am really focusing heavily right now on beginner stuff. So if you want to check out more advanced stuff, you're going to want to check out these other guys' channels, most likely. Adam's always digging super deep in the weeds. But I'm, there you go. But yeah, I'm right now doing, like I said earlier, a full build on this system back here, and I'm breaking it down. Like, if you want it in 60 seconds, this is not going to be your series, although I might break it up later. And then also I've got a series that I'm in the middle of putting out a couple more episodes on just beginner electrical fundamental stuff. So I'm learning a lot as I'm trying to explain it. So if you're new to all this, check out those 2 playlists, and they're on my channel. And yeah, see you over there. Thanks, Rodney.
All right, Adam, your turn.
Well, thanks again, Rodney, for hosting tonight. I know it couldn't have been easy, because you want to talk about things, but you're trying to hold yourself back, just to try to save your voice a little bit. So thanks for pushing through. Evan, appreciate you joining us tonight. It's always fun when we can have new faces on here and be able, like Eric said, to kind of meet face to face, and just, hang out, chat a little bit. I'm apparently digging in the weeds all the time, as Eric said. But I enjoy it. I like going through the details on things. So, when I get different projects, different batteries, inverters, whatever, I like to try and delve in a little bit deeper than what I see most people doing. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But hey, that's why there's the fast forward button, right? Let's see. Oh, I was going to say a couple of things. I know that EG4 just put out a new 6000 XP firmware update within the last day or so, and I've seen a lot of questions from people saying, why is there 3 MPPTs showing up in the monitoring site now? I think that's just a bug, because we didn't magically have a third MPPT appear inside. That would be sweet. Hey, if we can just get this extra plug and plug it in. But yeah, I think it's just a glitch that they'll have to fix in their next firmware update. Evan, I did see somebody ask about how we can get one of your hats in the chat.
Oh,
I don't have
we have a website, CountryView. My main channel is CountryView Acres. That's the name of the channel. But if you go to CountryViewAcresHomestead.com, it's a really long website name, but we do sell merchandise on our website, and we do have these hats made. But all of, like, the T-shirts and stuff, we actually print those in our basement and sell them. We ship everything from here. My wife does all of that, so it's very personal, I guess, when we sell merchandise, because we're the ones doing it all. So.
All right, and of course, I want to thank Eric and Adam for joining me as always and helping out, with my voice and trying to get them to talk a little more. Not that they don't talk; they talk. What am I talking about? And Evan, we'd like to thank him for being on here as well. We love having new people on here, especially people that are very knowledgeable. He had all this electrical experience, and his work is just amazing. You guys got to go check out both his channels. I've been watching his channel for a while. I sent him an email. I was like, he's never going to respond to me. He responded right away. I was going to believe it. I was like, then I emailed him again. I said, hey, you want to come on to the live stream? He said, yeah. Bam. Got him on. So maybe we can get him on.
Appreciate the invite.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can get him on for a second time at some point in the near future.
There we go.
And everybody that's watching, we want to thank you guys. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. Go support everybody's links, because, it's not possible to make these videos without your support. And we just like to thank you. And now I'm missing my buttons here. And hey, we'd like to thank everybody, and hey, say good night. Have a good one.